Spider-Man is probably one of the most popular superheroes in the world. So popular, I'm 99% certain Sony would rather bankrupt their entire company than willingly give up the film rights. And at some point in our lives, most of us have imagined what it would feel like to be Spidey. After all, there would be some pros to being the wall crawler, having the physique of an Olympic gymnast, the ability to stick to surfaces and climb anything, enhanced healing capabilities enabling you to heal far faster than your average Joe, superhuman reflexes, saving you and your friends from embarrassing spills, and the wardrobe. Spider-Man has excellent drip. His iconic red and blue suit looks fantastic. You gotta try really hard and spend a lot of money to make Spider-Man's suit look bad. Despite the pros I've listed, I'm gonna stand firmly on the hill of it would absolutely suck to be Spider-Man, and I mean be Spider-Man. Living in his world, not just some dude who possesses Spider-Man's powers, working as a shield agent, slacking off most of the time, eating a burger called the Heart Imploder every day for lunch. With that established, let's go over the first reason. Spider-Man's personal life is a wreck. Every act of heroism seems to come back to haunt him, whether it's making him late for class or costing him yet another opportunity to be with his family. His romantic interests are one bad day away from being abducted. Even his relatives can't catch a break. Peter's parents were 6 feet under before he even had a chance to get to know them. Uncle Ben gets clapped in almost every storyline. Not to mention this man has no respect whatsoever for the elderly or private property laws. Speaking of villains, throughout your career, you're going to run into a majority of common criminals who are going to be simple enough to handle. Then, at some point, you're probably going to come into contact with these unhinged maniacs. The Green Goblin alone is a solid reason you wouldn't want to be Spider-Man. Norman Osborn is an insane narcissist who had no qualms about selling his own son's soul to the devil. You really think he'd hesitate to ruin your life? Basement dweller behavior is not beneath this man. He will creep on you all day to uncover exactly who you are. There was that occasion when he orchestrated Aunt May's supposed demise. Additionally, in a cursed storyline, Norman cucked Peter with Gwen, because apparently ruining his life through conventional villainy wasn't enough. Am I the only one who likes to imagine that if the multiverse theory is true, then somewhere out there could be a universe where that story is still canon? No? Just me then. Right now you might be thinking to yourself, what if I'm an alternate reality version of Spider-Man? Good luck with that. You better hope there's no wizards in your reality, because if there is, Green Goblin ends up in another universe, still hates Spider-Man. Green Goblin gets undeniable proof this isn't the Spider-Man he knows, still hates Spider-Man. I don't care what anyone says, this man's entire existence revolves around a singular goal, making Spider-Man suffer. And even if you manage to take him down, round 2. Another one. I haven't even touched on the rest of Spider-Man's rogues gallery yet. For instance, you've got, oh, what the hell is this? Man, after fighting guys like Green Goblin, a lunatic for sure, but at least a human one, Doc Ock, a dude with metal tentacles, and this senior citizen with wings, you turn around and see Venom, a hulking mass of muscle, with an obscenely elongated tongue.
I definitely don't want to miss out on 19 inches of Venom.
Oh, shit! And a mouth quite literally overflowing with teeth. Seriously, just look at this thing. It looks like it's gonna eat my dog. I'm pretty sure most sane people's response would have to be along the lines of, no! I'm fucking done! Fuck you! Venom's not even the worst symbiote out there. After him, you could easily run into Carnage. Moreover, no agreement exists that prevents any of these guys from teaming up against you. They don't care if it's 6-on-1, they're the bad guys. You're gonna be broke most of the time. No matter where you look, I swear Peter is a month away from being homeless. As the great Wesley Snipes once said, being a superhero don't pay.
We're not exactly the march of dimes.
All those people you're saving, you ain't getting nada for any of those. Police, firefighters, paramedics, all get paid. Not you though. It's not as if you can stroll down to City Hall and check in. Hi, I'm Spider-Man. Today I stopped a runaway vehicle, saved 10 people, and helped prevent a chemical waste spill. Especially if you're dead set on keeping your identity a secret. I'd love to see the government hand out money to some masked vigilante with no identification, no bank details, and no official records. No, for all your efforts, you will have to content yourself with warm, fuzzy feelings. You're gonna be exhausted. Even superhuman endurance has its limits. I always think back to the Doc Ock train scene from Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2. That whole fight lasts around 5 minutes and 23 seconds, concluding with Peter burning every last ounce of strength he had left to stop an entire train with his body. He was cooked. Now picture expending short bursts of energy but stretching out over a full day instead. When you get home, there's a fairly decent chance you're gonna be completely drained. Now repeat that every single day. You're out patrolling around New York, putting out fires, stopping criminals, including supervillains, helping out convenience store owners and their cats, also women. This is to say nothing of the physical trauma. I don't just mean the general wear and tear your body will go through from day to day. A paper cut here, a stub toe there, or a kick that got past your spider sense. Those are all minor inconveniences, but some of these guys hit hard.
Not as venomous as they say.
He needs some milk!
But even with enhanced healing, some of these injuries are going to stick around. Here, let me put a plaster on that, mate. And unlike Wolverine, Spidey does not have crazy hyper healing to rely on. I've seen this man get blasted off a ship in space, hurtle through the atmosphere, and crash face first into the surface of the planet below. Begin healing while still missing his face and be completely fine 30 to 60 minutes later. None of this touched upon the emotional distress your family and friends who know you're Spider-Man will experience, constantly wondering if you're okay, if you're even going to make it home. Picture a scenario where some handsome devil beats you down into pavement pizza in front of them, all while they stand there powerless to do anything to help you. You can find a perfect example in Iron Man 3. Immediately after, Tony broadcasts his address to the world. The next day, the Mandarin calls in an airstrike.
This is Striker 3-1, good copy. Strike inbound.
And we see Pepper standing outside watching helplessly as Tony's home crumbles on top of him, exactly like an apple crumble, which brings us to the next issue. What would happen if your secret identity were exposed, not just to one villain? No, I'm talking about to every person on the planet. Mysterio revealed Peter's identity in around 3 seconds, and the reaction was instant. This is just some random guy. If that happened to you, I wish you the best of luck. You could be at risk of losing your job. And that's just for a start. Considering the legal issues alone that would start popping up is giving me a headache. Hope you have a good lawyer.
Hi, I'm Saul Goodman.
Normally, having Spider-Man around would have acted as a safeguard. Now, however, your very presence would become a problem, placing everyone around you in danger. Before, most people would say, "Hey yo, Spider-Man, can we take a picture together?" Now the response would be more, "Hey yo, get the hell away from me." I feel fairly confident in saying I think most of us are aware by now how many times the people Peter Parker cares about have been placed in serial danger thanks to him being outed as Spider-Man. There's the multiple occasions his romantic interests have been held hostage, experienced sudden cervical fractures, yep, there goes Gwen again, not to mention the constant bouts with whiplash and vertigo. And those last two are for the ones that are still alive. The chances of those closest to you being used to place you in undesirable circumstances shoot up astronomically, and it should go without saying they wouldn't only be used as leverage. Some supervillains may hate you so much that their sole purpose in targeting the people you care about would simply be because they know it would greatly increase your suffering. This brings me to my next point, mental stress. Unless you happen to have matching psychological profiles with Patrick Bateman, the sheer stress from knowing the people around you are in potential danger around the clock is probably going to overwhelm you.
Because you never know when some lunatic will come along with a sadistic choice.
You're not Wally West, who's fast enough to be in more than one place at a time. You're not Superman either, with a super cousin and a super dog. That would solve most problems for Clark right there. If needs be, he could fly Lois and Mom Park Kent over to his fortress, where he has an army of robots. Don't think he even has to pay rent for that iceberg. At the beginning, I did say Green Goblin alone was enough reason to not want to be Spider-Man. Honestly, I think I've changed my mind. This right here is a way better reason. But I've got one more for you. Failure. I mean the kind of failure that breaks you, that sends you home crying to mama. Not because you were too busy telling jokes or waiting around for a pat on the back. No, you did everything right, and sadly you still failed to save one person. Simply one of those days where the universe decides you lose. Actually, I'll take it all back. You know, the worst fate would be if you had to exist in the same universe as this man.
He's a criminal, that's who he is. A vigilante, a public menace.
City lights, going high. People moving, hustle by. Beats pumping through my veins.